So I've received a message from somebody 2 weeks ago, somebody called 64 Breezing. I did a reaction to John Gary Once Upon a Time, and I can't really remember the song, but anyway, I remember doing it because the name's familiar. And I'm sure this person Breezing won't mind me reading out what she has or he has written. So I'm going to do that next, and I'll tell you why. So that's coming up. Right. So I've responded to Breezy, who wrote this 2 weeks ago, and I said, "Nothing is lost. Please watch my next video." And this is the comment. It's made public on my site, so I'm sure she won't mind, or he won't mind. "This is one of my mother's favourite songs. She died of breast cancer in 2018. She was in a coma for the last 8 days of her life. I stayed in a hospice room an entire time and played the song for her, hoping she could hear it." Okay. "My mother was stunningly beautiful when she was young, and I could just picture her underneath a tree in moonlight in her hair. She suffered many traumatic experiences during her lifetime, and I always wished her upon a time would return so she could let go of her sadness." Okay, now I'm not going to go into detail of myself because I don't want this to be about me, but I've also lost my mother through coma, and she was in a coma for a long time. We're talking years. So I really empathize with this, with the comments here. So I'm gonna do a dedication to you, Breezing, and this is something I'm sure you've heard before. I'm sure you've heard. A lot of people have heard it. It's very popular. But if you haven't, then please enjoy it, because this is for you. If you have heard it, just enjoy it anyway, right? I'm just typing it into YouTube so I can tell you who actually sang it. Oh, I didn't know it was Lisa Gerrard. I always thought it was Enya. Anyway, so it's Now We Are Free, Hanz Zimmer and Lisa Gerrard. And the reason I like this is the movie, obviously, without going into the stage and the characters and all the play, it does transcend you into that kind of afterlife, as many movies do. In fact, all movies do that to an extent. That's just because all stories are actually the same. Anyway, so this movie, when one of the main characters dies, I think it's Marcus Aurelius. No, it's not Marcus Aurelius. I can't remember his name now. Not Marcus Aurelius. Russell Crowe plays the character. And when he dies, you really feel like he's going back to his wife and his boy that died in the film, who were murdered in a horrific death. I think they were burnt alive. So it kind of takes you on that journey, and whenever I hear it, I don't think of the film. I think about how that journey makes me feel. It really punches, right in the gut. So let's go into it. I'm talking way too much. God, I've spoken for 4 minutes. So Breezing, this one's for you. My dedication to you. Okay. Oh, okay. Guys, you can switch off from this now if you don't want to hear me just go on about the purpose of me dedicating that to somebody. Is I'm a believer, and this is not something I've rehearsed. I'm just telling you how I feel after listening to the song and the initial comment from Brizin, if I said the name correctly. Basically, it's a strange feeling it's a strange thing that a lot of people listening to something or experiencing something independently can have a very similar effect. And what I mean by that is it's unbelievable how similar we all are. Because if you listen to a song and it's making you feel a certain way, and 100 other people are listening to the same song and they're feeling a similar thing, isn't that testament to the similarities between what we find tragic, romantic, funny, or the sentiments we feel towards, not towards the music, but how the music makes us feel, right? It's like it's an outer body experience. Because it's a song. When it finishes, you're back to reality. The song's gone, the experience is gone. There may be some remnants of it. There's always that residual feeling, because that's what music does. So when I listen to that, although the visuals were about the film, it did transcend beyond even the message of the film. I felt that anyway. It's almost like they've touched something that's true, and the film and the producers and even Hanz Zimmer don't own that truth. They've expounded it, they've released that truth, and they've touched on it, and they've shared it with us. And that truth is the emotions that music makes me feel. And that is, it reminds me of historic times where there was a lot of pain, a lot of love, a lot of torture, a lot of awful things we've done to each other as humans. But at the same time, all the good stuff we've done, it's like our journey, all put together into music, and it's like an experience, like a tragedy, the tragic story of humanity through the ages, especially with obviously this was about Romans, but I can understand it, Romans and Europe and all these invasions. I mean, there was over 2,000 years, there was just invasions of empires swaying back and forth, and 1 second you're a happy village, the next second everyone's burnt alive in your village, and that's what we did to each other. Now we're very civilized. But I think this music can almost transcend you and take you back to that nostalgic feeling. And you don't have to experience that feeling to know it has a meaning. It has a purpose, and that the purpose that feeling has is something we all have inherited, right, through our genetic modification. So we all, in our genetics, have felt the pains of them tragedies. I'll give you an example. An example is, there was a time where humans obviously needed to eat, but we can go 3 or 4 days a week without eating. We knew how to kind of sustain ourselves without food, but one thing we couldn't live without for, I think it's about 48 hours, is water, right? So what humans used to do is they used to go and pick berries and fruit and foods which had 90% water in them. All the foods that we used to pick, that we used to go out and harvest, we weren't harvesting food, we was actually harvesting water. But nature tricked us. It kind of said to us, this is what your body really needs. You don't know, you think you're hungry, but you're not, you're really thirsty. And the reason I'm telling you that is we still have that mentality now. A lot of the times we go to the fridge and we pick up something because we think we're hungry. We're not, we're thirsty. If you have a berry, it's the water that's nurturing you in the berry. It's not the berry. Okay, it has nutrients, but that's how we used to keep ourselves watered, right? The reason I'm saying this is there's something in our genetics that we have carried through. I mean, I'm talking 200,000 years of genetics there. We've carried that through. We still have that feeling of hunger and thirst, just like we used to, right? So we've got, have we not got a direct relationship with our history, with our past? Do we not sometimes do things that we used to do 200,000 years ago? So your genetics, your feelings, your sentiments, your values, they don't start from birth. They don't start from birth. There is a carryover. There's a carryover. I'll give you an example. Another example. Children often do what their parents did or something similar, right? And I'm not talking about professions. I'm talking about characteristics, right? A lot of times you say, oh, she's gone on her mum, or you remind me of your uncle, or you're just like your dad. You know, there's the reasons for that. And sometimes generations skip each other, but the reason is because there's something that follows through. So the pain we feel when we listen to songs like this, and if you relate it in that manner, you can also experience a part of the tragic history that we've endured, not as humans, as cells, almost as cells. That sounds so bizarre, because we're talking about DNA, genetics, and memories stored in DNA. So yeah, it's quite deep. I don't even know what I'm trying to say, but there's definitely a shared experience between people. So if you've shared that experience with me, and you know half of what I'm talking about, then yeah, not bad. It's definitely a winner. A great song. Take care, guys.